joining us this morning. It is the 16th day of September 2025, a bright Tuesday. If you're in Nairobi, of course, the sun is shining bright. What a beautiful day to begin your day with business stories and everything that concerns you as far as being a Kenyan citizen is in terms of politics, business, because that is basically what shapes our nation and what shapes the world. That is governance and business, politics, and anything that touches money is anything that touches you as a person. So on this day, uh, if you're keen on environment, it is a day that is dedicated to protection of ozone layer. I don't know if most of you know about the ozone layer and why it is important, because we've been seeing cases reported of change of climate, and mostly we've seen very high temperatures being experienced, and we've seen if you are keen, you've heard of something called global warming. So it is caused by the depletion of the ozone layer. And what depletes the ozone layer? It is things related to chlorofluorocarbons, that is release of fossil fuels, burning of, releasing of harmful gases to the atmosphere, including your spray. Anything that is carbon related depletes our environment. So it's a day dedicated by the United Nations to the protection of the ozone layer. Also, if you're keen, you're a keen person, you'll notice that the narratives in the country are shifting. Initially, we were having toned down, or we were having matters related to politics inaongelewa chini ya maji. At the moment, it is covering all our headlines or all our newspaper headlines, and this is because in as far as we are heading towards the by-elections, it is also a time when everyone is really presenting their bid for presidency and leading in various positions. We've seen Gachagua declare publicly that he will run for office despite the cases that are in court at the moment related to his impeachment. So we've also seen that. So conversations are shifting in the country, and they're all directed towards politics. Also, if you're keen in the country, you'll notice that with various banks in the country or SACCOs, most of them are experiencing higher borrowing rates than deposit rates. That means that there is more hunger for credit to sustain people's life, other than more profits gained from businesses that are deposited. Most of the people we are seeing are either purchasing shares in different companies. Those are the haves. And those, let me not say the have-nots, but the common mwananchi who is struggling, most of them are shifting towards credit. And just take a look at whoever you are, where you are right now. Una deni ya nani, ama nani anakudai? Where have you borrowed from? So every Kenyan at the moment, most likely, you are having a debt, and that is not a good state to be. Wanasema kila mtu ana deni, hata Kenya ina deni. But if you see a trend where about 93% of transactions in a circle or a bank is related to borrowing, or is pointed towards borrowing and credits, that means it's not an easy or a good place to be as a country. Because as we saw last week on our daily still, there was a report on about 48%, is it 46 or 48% of our GDP spent on paying of salaries, and little to nothing is left for development. And right now, let's take a look at the headlines this morning that is on our newspapers. And we have the Standard, which says war against Matiang'i. Still on politics, the Standard says former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i's declaration 4 months ago that he will run for president in 2027 has clearly struck a nerve in President William Ruto's camp. Behind the scenes, a covert plan is in motion, with state machinery rolled out, senior civil servants flexing power, money changing hands, and threats issued, all aimed at clipping Matiang'i's rising stature in Nyanza and across the country. So that is given prominence. And we saw yesterday Kirinyaga, a section of Kirinyaga leaders, despite the fact that they were complaining that Waiguru should not run for the senatorial seat, they were also saying that they support Matiang'i's bid. And also we have a story on matter security, given prominence there. on page 5 of the Standard. Sleuths flying blind in city without CCTV, and this is despite millions sunk into the integrated urban surveillance system between 2012 and 2015. Nairobi has no working CCTV to capture real-time crime in the CBD and major roads, a week after lawyer Kyalo Mbobu was gunned down in a hail of bullets. Detectives still have no solid leads and are left to hope and pray for good Samaritans to step forward. So that is a story given prominence also on the Standard, that is matters security. Moving on to a different newspaper this morning, we have the Daily Nation, where they're saying campaign podium, and this is in relation to President Ruto opening doors for opening State House doors. It's no longer for the privilege. Anyone can go to State House right now. I mean, not literally, but under instructions or under invitation from the president. The Daily Nation has given the chronological of events. We have August 7th, bodaboda team. Wale wenye walikuwa wanasema walipewa bodaboda na after kutoka wakaambiwa hizi bodaboda mtakujia. They didn't live with the bodabodas. We have August 9th, we have Nairobi Youth. Let me not say this is in relation to Ichungwa's team of manipulating the algorithm so that not just anything can trend on social media right now. It is regulated. What is trending is regulated. Not Ichungwa, Itumbi, if you know what I'm saying. If you know, you know. So we have August 15th, we have Nyamira and Kisii, and this shook. And if you look at it, we have August 15th, Nyamira and Kisii, and we also have September 11th, we have Kisii. I think this is what the Standard is saying, that war against Matiang'i, this shook President William Ruto because we have the Kisii community invited to State House twice. And then we have August 29th, we have Meru leaders in the State House. We have September 2nd, we have Kuria West and Kuria East. And this is also our majirani wa Kisii. So we also have that. We have September 2nd, we have Turkana. September 11th, Kisii. September 12th, we have Muranga. And finally, September 13th, we have 10,000 teachers. And if you're keen also, you'll notice that these teachers walisema hawakushiba. They were given only one meal, and later on, they were given 10,000 each. And of course, the organizers, wale wenye waliwa mobilize wakuje kwa wingi, they got even more. So for the teachers who came, it's 10,000 each. So 10,000 multiplied by 10,000 teachers, that is about 100 million. Is it 100 million? And then we have those who organize. Of course, they won't be given 10,000. You can't be given 10,000 to move on choppers, mobilizing 10,000 teachers to come to Nairobi and be given 10,000. So we have, that is a huge budget. And the question that I will be asking my panelists this morning is, from whose pocket? Is it from what Gachagua was saying, that kuna containers za pesa State House, or is it something else? That is what we shall be asking the panelists this morning. So we have another story given prominence on the Daily Nation: crisis in public universities as Dawn set to strike. In maneno ya pesa still. They're saying bila pesa, no darasani. Matters education given prominence. There are also education. TSC's new plan to end junior school tough wars, and this is by planning to integrate them in the Teacher Service Commission. I think it's 2 weeks ago where we saw GSS teachers saying that they need to be given their own body to run their affairs as GSS teachers. And we have crime in the footsteps of Kwabin, Zaro cult victims. That story is on page 13 of the Daily Nation. I mentioned earlier that it's a day that is honored to celebrate, to protect the ozone layer. That story, I am seeing the Standard also talking about sustainable energy conference. That is matters with to deal with, is it promotions or advertisement? You can also look at that. Now, this morning also, that is on the state of our nation. This morning also we'll be talking about the gas business. For starters, it is a safe way of using energy. It is a safe energy that does not deplete the ozone layer. So it is a conversation that we need to be having. So gas, if you're using gas, just know that you are protecting the environment in one way or another. that is instead of using coal, that is coal, instead of using firewood, instead of burning fuel, that is what were petrol and all that, releasing the chlorofluorocarbons to the atmosphere, hence destroying the ozone layer. So we shall be having a conversation surrounding gas, safety precautions when it comes to dealing with gas. How safe can you be? How can you identify a safe gas? How can you ensure safety when you're at home to avoid explosion? And also, that conversation will be surrounding the Zuri gas. And we shall be joined this morning. We shall be joined by this gentleman called Richard Otieno, who is the head of operations and ESG, that is the brand Zuri Gas. He shall be helping us understand which brands can you trust, how do you navigate the business of gas, and which is the safe way to go. So that is a conversation that is coming up on this coverage this morning on Biashara Tuesday, a show that keeps you informed on everything business, business strategies, trade secrets, and everything in between, whether you're just starting up or you are a pro in business. How can you better your business? So that will be coming up shortly. But right now, I want us to take a look at what is happening on the road and the weather situation. It is 50 minutes past 7 a.m., or you can say 10 minutes to 8 a.m. And I am looking at the traffic this morning. It is as we expect. What is unusual is those people who are using the Eastern Bypass. Wale wanatoka Embakasi wana join Eastern Bypass, and this is Airport Road all the way to those joining to Imara Daima, up around Cabanas. Those people who are using the Eastern Bypass to join Mombasa Road, there is very heavy traffic along that route. That is from Utawala all the way to a point where you are joining Mombasa Road. Heavy traffic on that road. Jogoo Road, those who are going to town this morning using Jogoo Road, your roads looks quite okay, except for a few places. I think it's around the bus stations. The bus stops, not the bus stations, the bus stops. And those people who are coming from Langata Road, slow down over there. And it's actually moving. Those people who are joining, it's moving because it's yellow. But there is a slowdown along that route. All the other roads leading to town, I'm seeing they are quite all right. Mombasa Road looks quite okay this morning at this hour, except for the places that I've mentioned. And also another place that we always expect traffic is Thika Road. That is today, it begins from Mountain Mall. That is around Rosters all the way to Pangani Interchange, and that's affecting those people coming from Kiambu Road. So along that stretch from Rosters all the way to Mutaiga Interchange, that is around Pangani, heavy traffic. So if you can use other alternatives, well and good for you. And I'm seeing Limuru Road looking quite okay. So all the other tributaries leading to town this morning are looking quite okay, except the Eastern Bypass and, of course, Thika Road from Rosters all the way to Pangani Interchange. And looking at the weather, it is quite a warm morning in Nairobi. That is, at least from where I come from, hapa nyuma ya KU. And the sun was shining bright this morning, and I was like, yeah, this is good. We rarely see, if your work schedule sets you to be working late, you rarely see the sun. So it's always a privilege to see the sun for some of us. So according to Kenya Met, the weather forecast from today, that is the 16th to the 22nd of September 2025, Kenya Met says that most parts of Kenya will be sunny and dry. However, rainfall is expected in sections of the Central Highlands, including Nairobi, Lake Victoria Basin, Rift Valley, Western Kenya, and the coast. Concerning temperatures, daytime highs are expected to be greater than 30 degrees Celsius in coast, northeastern and northwestern Kenya. Nighttime lows are expected to be less than 10 degrees Celsius in parts of Central Highlands, Rift Valley, and the Mount Kilimanjaro region. If we take a look at the winds, strong southerly to southeasterly winds expected to be greater than 25 knots over the coast and Kenya's territorial waters, southeastern lowlands, northeastern and northwestern Kenya. So that is the weather situation according to Kenya Met Department, and of course they have given a warning of expected heavy rainfall advisory in some parts, that is from tomorrow to the 19th of August. They're saying medium to moderate rainfall are expected. Sorry, this is a wrong information. What I've mentioned earlier is what is according to Kenya Met. That is medium to moderate rainfall. That is in most parts of the country. And that is on the what is expected or what we need to expect in as far as weather is concerned, and as far as what is it called, traffic is concerned. At this point, let's take a very short break. We'll be back with news updates.
Miti, panda. Miti. Our planet's future is in our hands. However, there is a threat to the brightness of this tomorrow. On EarthCheck, we share the challenges, the solutions, and the hope.
I would call this a very momentous day, a very critical day.
Every episode, every story, every step we take creates a ripple. Join me, the environmentalist Emmanuel Kutosi, on KUTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and be part of EarthCheck. Welcome.
A new era, a new people. This is the Law Matters Show. A program that brings you legal sensitization on your television.
My statement is written and just the quote the prosecution.
I think that this loss is a setback for Raila Odinga.
What policy recommendations were fronted by the candidate?
With diversity, we demystify important legal issues locally, regionally, and internationally.
What Tanzanians.
Join me, Elvin Onsongo, as I bring you more insights on law matters.
We are looking at social issues. What is the problem? Is it the economy? Is it...
Law Matters Show, creating awareness, advocacy, and enhancing lives.
Katika mitindo ya kipwani hapa KUTV. Yaani tunapozungumzia mitindo ya kipwani basi unaona napigwa na mawimbi makali sana ya baharini kutoka katika ufuo wa hoteli moja inayofahamika kama North Coast Beach Hotel, ambao ndio wadhamini wa kipindi hiki cha mitindo ya kipwani. Mpenzi mtazamaji, kwenye mitindo ya kipwani hutakosa kupata mapishi ya vyakula vya kipwani. Yaani hapa tunazungumzia vyakula vilivyokolezwa na kukorombezwa. Iliki, karafuu, abdalasini, samaki wa baharini, vyakula vilivyopikwa na kusukwa kwa kutumia nazi. Bila kusahau mazungumzo ya moja kwa moja, mazungumzo ya kusisimua na wataalam tofauti, waandishi wa vitabu waliobobea, watunzi wa kuhani mashairi. Bila kusahau mpenzi mtazamaji, taratibu zetu za tarabu na chakacha. Yaani pale ni pale ambapo viuno vya wanawake vinazungushwa kisawasawa kama panga boy za trekta ndani ya KUTV mitindo ya kipwani. Ukiwa nami na hodha wako Waridi Tamu. Usiakose matamu jamani.
It is the best time to keep you updated on everything that is shaping the world of news, or your world of news, or rather what is shaping Kenya at the moment. And right now, everything is all about politics. But if we look in a turn of events, President William Ruto and Deputy President, that is Professor Kithure Kindiki, led a delegation of senior state officials to the funeral of Mzee Isaac Ichung'wah Ngugi, the father of National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah in Kiambu County. The late Mzee Isaac, who had an unblemished teaching career, was praised by the leaders who paid their tribute as a God-fearing, kind and generous man. Yusuf Abnasir has the details.
Leaders led by President William Ruto have flocked to Kiambu County for the funeral ceremony of Mzee Isaac Ichung'wah Ngugi, who breathed his last on September 5th, 2025. Drumming up support for the universal health coverage, the head of state has assured Kenyans that they will no longer be burdened by hospital bills for their loved ones, promising improved healthcare services through the Social Health Authority.
I want to tell you, fellow Kenyans, citizens of this nation, we have a duty, we have a responsibility to change this nation. And I am telling you, it is possible. Look at what we have done with the economy in 3 years. Look at what we have done with agriculture in 3 years. Look at what we have done with housing in 3 years. Look at what we have done in universal healthcare in 3 years. I promise you, we can change this nation in our lifetime.
President Ruto, who thanked Kimani Ichung'wah for standing by him when many others abandoned him, appealed to the leaders present to emulate Mzee Ichung'wah's hard work and confidence in transforming Kenya into a developed country.
And that is why the life of this father here lying, Isaac Ichung'wah Ngugi, is an inspiration to us as a nation. We must believe in ourselves. We must believe in our country. And we must believe that we can change this nation. We are having a conversation, a live conversation now. And I want to challenge us as the citizens of this nation. Kenya cannot continue to be a third world country.
Kimani Ichung'wah remains that his late father Mzee Isaac used to urge President William Ruto to remain focused and ignore the noise of cynics. The National Assembly Majority Leader said this is a principle that has catapulted him to his current position.
Na wakati rais ulinipigia simu tukiwa na yeye, akasikia nikisema yes boss, akasema kama ni Ruto leta. So nikatoka nje nikaongea na His Excellency and I asked Your Excellency if you don't mind, mzee amekuwa akiniambia anataka kuongea na wewe. Sijui mlisema nini sababu mliongea lugha mimi sikuelewa. Nikamuuliza mlikuwa nasema nini? Akaniambia nimeambia Ruto asisikize kelele, aendelee na kufanya ile kazi anafanya. Watu wataongea, that you don't listen to the noise around you.
Cabinet secretaries, governors, senators, members of parliament and other state officials who have graced the occasion have also eulogized with the National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, whose father Isaac Ichung'wah Ngugi died at the age of 105 years. Yusuf Abdinasir, KUTV, Nairobi.
All right, and in order to prevent financial difficulties for life after service by 7, many officers fall into the trap of misusing their salaries on luxuries only to encounter hardship monthly income basis.
Police officers have been advised to start preparing for life after service by saving and investing their earnings wisely to avoid financial struggles during retirement, noting that many misuse their salaries on luxuries only to suffer later in future. The Chief Chaplain of the Administration Police Service, Bishop Dr. Kibet Kipkoech, noted that many take advantage of their salaries on luxuries only to face a rough time once their monthly income stops.
Lazima mtu uanze kujifunza mpaka inakuingia, na usipojifunza unaweza ingia katika mafundisho hali ya kutumia pesa vibaya, na wengi wao kama vile tumeizi tukiona, unakuta mtu achachipanga wakati wa retire imefika na sasa anaanza kuhangaika kwa sababu hakika mshahara itasimama.
Bishop Gititu, who served for 37 years in the administration police, revealed that some officers dread retirement to the extent of sneaking out of camp at night to avoid being noted. He warned that failure to embrace retirement often leads to shock, mental health struggles, and in extreme cases, tragic outcomes.
Lakini jambo hili ningesema ya kwamba kama mtu angelikuwa tayari psychologically, physically na hata mambo yake ya kinyumbani, angeenda nyumbani akiwa na furaha na angeenda akiwa mambo haya hayamjamguza sana. Kwa hivyo hatari kubwa ambaye ya mtu ambaye hajajiandaa, wakati mwingine ndio unaona officers wetu wanaenda nyumbani na wakiritaya wanapata shock ya retire, wengine wanagojeka.
The retired chaplain further called on police officers to serve citizens with compassion and humility, reminding them that they are the taxpayers who fund their salaries. The public is urged to recognize the sacrifices made by law enforcement, many of whom devote their lives to maintaining security and peace. Rose Karuri, KUTV.
All right. Now, if in the country it is only, this is my opinion on the same in terms of savings, police officers see a lot when it comes to their line of work. From the cases that are reported, they are the first respondents. Whether it's an accident, whether it's assault, anything, they're the first people to get to the scenes of crime. And for that matter, I think they should be having a kitty or something that deals with their mental health. I don't know if that is currently happening in the country. Instead of pushing them at the edge, you need to save and you need to have everything of yours in order. I think it's also important that we consider their mental health as a country. I don't know what you think about that. You can share with us what you think about the welfare of police officers. Now, moving on into matters politics still, a repeated legislative attempt to extend the term limits for the president and other elected officials has drawn harsh criticism from Manyata Member of Parliament Gitonga Mukunji, who has declared the idea as shameful and ill-timed. The proposed initiative, led by Senator Samson Cherargei of Nandi County, aims to amend the constitution to give elected officials a 7-year term instead of the present 5-year term. In his presentation of the legislative agenda, the member emphasized the necessity to address issues like widespread youth unemployment, police brutality, and the persistently high cost of living. Mukunji reiterated the constitutionality guaranteed 5 years terms sufficiency, saying it gives a committed leader the time to carry out development initiatives and raise the standard of living for their constituencies.
to serve 7 years. Na hiyo ni mjadala imeletwa na mtu mmoja wa serikali anaitwa Cherargei. Kwanza, I want to confirm that kama Senate watapitisha hiyo maneno, ikifika National Assembly, afadhali mimi niruke somersault, lakini hakuna kitu kama hiyo inaweza pita kama mgonji yako bunge. Because it's actually a shame that we can discuss matters to do with years of leadership ambayo iko katika katiba ya Kenya na imewekwa, wakati hatujaongea maneno ya wale vijana wetu wengi ambao wako nje na hawana kazi. As a leader you only need 5 years ili watu wajue wewe uko na network ama una network. Ukweli mwongo? 5 imetosha ili urudi tena kwa wananchi wakwambie unatosha mboga ama uto.
Let's stick on the term limit a little bit. Jubilee Party members from Kirinyaga County have come out to oppose Governor ANYANGO's senatorial bid, stating it should be given to someone else who was not served. The leaders who questioned Waiguru's credibility stated that Kirinyaga County needs new leadership to streamline developments. Waiguru is looking into remaining at the political arena after she finishes her time as governor of Kirinyaga, and according to her, she has the need of serving the people of the county, and remaining in the second top seat in the county will be a move in restoring dignity of the county's leadership. In favor of former CS Fred Matiang'i, the leaders call on the region to rally itself behind Matiang'i ahead of the 2027 presidential elections.
Sisi tunataka kukuambia hivi Waiguru, na najua unaniangalia na unanitazama hapo huko, umekaa chini unanitazama. Hatutakubali kama wakaaji wa Kirinyaga utoke gavana utuimbie gavana then ukuje uanze kutuimbia kwa senator. Tumekataa. Na nataka kukuambia ukweli. Senator wetu, sikiza na masikio mawili. Senator wetu sio mwingine, ni Mwalimu Wangoi wa Kabiro.
Kusema mahali umeolewa ndiko kwenu. Kabisa. Mimi nimezaliwa Murang'a. Nimeolewa Kirinyaga. Kwa hivyo natetea watu wa Kirinyaga. Gavana wetu hata kama tulimpea kiti ya gavana, wakati huo hakuwa ameolewa. Sasa aliolewa, aende Murang'a. Aende akajaze space niliacha huko Murang'a. Kwa hivyo na lakini ni nini hii inamfanya aitishe kiti ya senator? We are questioning because we are not fools. We are tired of her. Let her be out. Let her go and relax. She has been in the seat for the last 10 years.
Kirinyaga, we are here to say no to politics of duping. We are here to say no to the wrong intentions when we are voting for leaders. Really? How can we vote for you and we do not know 1.6 billion of development per year for 7 years?
We are also asking the same question. Why should we vote for, okay, I'm not in Kirinyaga, but then talking of other leaders in the country, why should we vote for a leader who has stayed in office for 5 years, yet we have not seen changes, and going to a second term and also coming to a third term, wanting to have a third term? So why should we vote for you as a leader? I think this is the question we should be asking as a country. Before voting in anyone or voting someone back in, we should be asking the question, why should we vote for you? Despite the fact that we are seeing talks of extending term limits from 5 years to 7 years. Before we get to that level, what have they done? Right now, the Kenya Kwanza administration, it's at 3 years. It clocked 3 years on Saturday. That was the 13th of September. It clocked 3 years. So what have they done in 3 years? Should they be given more years, moving it to 7? In the remaining 2 years that constitutionally we have it, what have they done? Is it just conversations related to politics? Because I don't know if it's always this way, because I've not been in the world for a long time. Is it always this way that throughout the whole period, when are leaders working? Because from what I've seen is all through we have been having conversations related to politics. So when are they really working? When is the time of what they say we should avoid politics and focus on service delivery? Because even if they say that, we see them on funerals, we see them on contributions to churches and all that, politics going all the way. So when are our leaders working, and should they be given more time, or should their time be extended? Now moving on, several farmers in cooperative societies at Machakos County in Matungulu sub-county have raised alarm over self-proclaimed coordinator claiming close ties with State House President and the CS of Interior. The societies want Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, and police to investigate him, alleging he extorts money while promising quick solutions, including title deeds. Listen in.
The Leaders Farmers Cooperative Society in Matungulu, Machakos County have voiced serious concerns. James Mwovi Mwangangi, chairman of Matinga's Cooperative Society, revealed that Cyrus Mutunga Masaku has been moving around extorting money from unsuspecting officials and members.
Cyrus Mutunga Masaku anasema yeye ni proxy ya serikali. Tunasema tujue yeye ni wa kitengo gani, kwa vile amekonikoni watu huku na hiyo jina na anaharibu jina ya serikali. Alafu anasema mkutano ya Matuwe Ndano iwezi kuwa huku Matungulu kwa vile hakuna security. Na kuna security agents huku, kuna kitengo cha DCI, police, Madam DCC na timu wote wako hapa. Tuauliza ikienda kuchaguliwa huko Machakos, wanye watachaguliwa wataishi huko kama huko hakuna security.
Gerard Kiswi, chairman of Committee Farmers, says he was conned 100,000 through a phone transaction and days later was asked for an additional 130,000 to help secure title deeds for Committee Cooperative Society. He claims the suspect later stopped answering calls. Members of Matu Wendano, Philip Muli Munyaka, says he had never met Mutunga until he introduced himself as being from the office of the president, convincing him his problems would be resolved, where he recounts accompanying Cyrus to a bank in Tala where they withdrew 400,000 in cash as demanded.
Na wakati nilianza kumfuata akaanza kupotea na nikawa siwezi mpata, na mimi nikakimya. Lakini kwa sababu amejitokesha na amejitokesha kama kiongozi, mimi nimeona pia nitasaidika, kwa sababu wakati atakaribia karibu na mimi ama nikaribishwe kwake, ndio saa hiyo nitaanza kumpata na nitafaidika.
Tukaenda mpaka kwa manager ndani. Tukiwa kwa manager, alikuwa anatoka nje na simu akazungumza, akakuja akatuambia hiyo pesa mharakishe, ule mtu anatoka State House ako tayari na anaongojea hii pesa.
Mutunga Masaku has dismissed claims that he is the coordinator of Farmer Society in Matungulu, clarifying that his involvement began in 2022 with Matu Wendano members and stakeholders to help secure title deeds.
Kwa hivyo members, msikuwe na shaka, serikali itawajua venye mtafika kwa mkutano, mchague watu yenu, na mimi kazi yangu kama coordinator itaishia hapo. Kwa hivyo safari tulianza na inaisha tarehe 25. Jambo la pili, kuna watu wanasema ati mashamba ya Ukambani ninajifanya mimi ni coordinator wa yote. Hapana. Na coordinate shamba ya Wendano peke yake. Kwa hivyo ile mashamba ingine mimi sihusiki, na lakini ile naweza himiza ni wale ambao wanaongoza hiyo mashamba, tafadhali wacheni kutumia mashamba ya wenyewe vibaya.
Now, concerns about growing insecurity in Kehancha, Kuria West Sub-County, Migori County have been voiced by Joseph Motari, Principal Secretary for Social Protection and Senior Citizen Affairs, who has noted that multiple fatalities have occurred in recent weeks. PS Motari also asked parents to put education before child labor and encourage locals to adopt ethical mining methods. He emphasized that the mining should continue to be a source of income for adults rather than kids. In order to improve safety and uphold order, the PS also voiced concerns about uncontrolled artisanal mining activities and emphasized the necessity of working with local officials such as the Deputy County Commissioner.
Kuhakikisha kwamba watoto wa sehemu hii wameenda shule. Watoto wetu wasiende mining. That is child labor. Watoto waende shule ili saa ile wengine tumekatuka kama sisi nao wachukue nafasi hiyo ambayo itakuwa ya UPS miaka hiyo. Hii mahali inazidi kuharibika kwa usalama. Hapa Kihaji. Kuhakikisha kwamba hao vijana ambao wanahusika kutengeza hii uchimba hiyo maini yao wachimbe maini bila kuchinjwa. Nasikia mwingine amechinjwa juzi.
Alright, in sports, in the last friendly game played on Sunday at the SD Huesca Academy grounds, the boys team defeated the host, the SD Huesca under 24-2, capping off Safaricom Chapadimba All-Stars week-long football boot camp in Spain. One of the academy's coaches, Juan Ramon Fung, coached the girls' squad in a morning practice before the game began. Denzel Omolo, Armstrong Omondi, Brian Aroka, and Baraka Rogers all scored goals for the All-Stars, put on an incredible exhibition. On September 6, 2025, the All-Stars team of 24 players, 12 boys and 12 girls, who were scouted from the season 4 regional and national competitions, traveled to Huesca, Spain for a week-long international football camp.
The team traveled on Saturday, Sunday. They've experienced training in the field. They've had friendly matches. They have been exposed to conditioning. So every single day before training, they go to the gym for conditioning, which is an added point that was given by the coaches to ensure that we strengthen our players. But in addition to that, in-room reviews, where they actually go through some tactical reviews and analysis to help them so that when they go back to the field, they are able to apply what they've discussed in room to actually come and apply it on the field. So it is important that we give them the best chance, the very best chance, and we are happy with the results. By far, this season has been the best of the 4 seasons to date. We have been able to get nearly 10 players placed in the local league, and we even have 1 player who is currently in Egypt. A very successful tournament. But what we have seen is that by giving them exposure, scouts are able to see them and to see what they are made of.
All right, now that brings us to the end of the news updates this morning. And I just want to give you a reason why you should not miss the next segment, which will be joined by our very own Ojuang Mariam and Marsden Kibet, who is a political commentator. Someone is saying on the Standard that boarding schools are colonial relics we should do away with. Do you agree with that? And also conversations about divorce. No kiss, no marriage. Court widens divorce grounds, redefines cruelty. At this point, if you are cruel to your partner, there is more likelihood. Hata mukienda na matching outfits in the court cases, most likely you will get that divorce, because the grounds that have been put of mental cruelty, or they say cruelty can be both physical and mental, and this can be proven by medical reports. So the gentleman that I've mentioned will be joining us this morning to have a look at more of that and more of politics and more of business. That discussion is coming up shortly after the break.
Get ready to embark on a journey to the exciting world of technology as we uncover the latest trends, interview top thought leaders, and dive deep into the world of tech like never before.
Currently, we are facing the challenge in terms of finance. It requires one to move from different counties because we really need a large data set for our model to be more accurate.
In this new and exciting series of the Technovation Show, join me, Yvonne Kimuma, every Monday 8:30 p.m. for a fun and thrilling experience as we explore the cutting-edge developments, meet visionaries driving change.
Somebody who is in the underground mine doesn't know the presence of those gases. So there are a lot of gases involved. There is methane, there is carbon monoxide, and there's also hydrogen sulfide. These gases actually, they are very dangerous and they are very toxic.
And discover the endless possibilities of the tech world.
A new era, a new people. This is the Law Matters Show. A program that brings you legal sensitization on your television.
My statement is written and just the quote the prosecution.
I think that this loss is a setback for Raila Odinga.
What policy recommendations were fronted by the candidate?
With diversity, we demystify important legal issues locally, regionally, and internationally.
What Tanzanians.
Join me, Elvin Onsongo, as I bring you more insights on law matters.
We are looking at social issues. What is the problem? Is it the economy? Is it...
Law Matters Show, creating awareness, advocacy, and enhancing lives.
Na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka, akawa tuzo. Ukakamavu wake, ukatii, na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke, akabaini jinsi ya kuweni. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari, kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake. Nami Caroline Kimwele.
Bajuka ni kama unarusha mamikono, tingisha kichwa chuko sivute kisogo. Mbona nyinyi na wawasha nkikula nyama choma tu firifiri na
Our planet's future is in our hands. However, there is a threat to the brightness of this tomorrow. On EarthCheck, we share the challenges, the solutions, and the hope.
I would call this a very momentous day, a very critical day.
Every episode, every story, every step we take creates a ripple. Join me, the environmentalist Emmanuel Kutosi, on KUTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and be part of EarthCheck. Welcome.
Ungana nami Malkia wa Taarab katika mitindo ya kipwani hapa KUTV. Yaani tunavyozungumzia mitindo ya kipwani basi unaona napigwa kupigwa na mawimbi makali sana ya baharini kutoka katika ufuo wa hoteli moja inayofahamika kama North Coast Beach Hotel, ambao ndio wadhamini wa kipindi hiki cha mitindo ya kipwani. Mpenzi mtazamaji, kwenye mitindo ya kipwani hutakosa kupata mapishi ya vyakula vya kipwani. Yaani hapa tunazungumzia vyakula vilivyokolezwa na kukorombezwa. Iliki, karafuu, abdalasini, samaki wa baharini, vyakula vilivyopikwa na kusukwa kwa kutumia nazi. Bila kusahau mazungumzo ya moja kwa moja, mazungumzo ya kusisimua na wataalam tofauti, waandishi wa vitabu waliobobea, watunzi wa kuhani mashairi. Bila kusahau mpenzi mtazamaji, taratibu zetu za taarabu na chakacha. Yaani pale ni pale ambapo viuno vya wanawake vinazungushwa kisawasawa kama panga boy za trekta ndani ya KUTV mitindo ya kipwani. Ukiwa nami na hodha wako Waridi Tamu. Usiakose matamu jamani.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
they find it quite strange talking to you.
You should just make schools integrated,
inclusive setups
by providing the right facilities.
Welcome back. I mentioned earlier that it is a day when the world is observing caution when in as far as the protection of the ozone layer is concerned. And also I mentioned that we shall be having a conversation surrounding safety when it comes to use of gas, and that is specifically gas cylinders, whether it's on cooking, whether it's on your business, and everything in between, just everything that is concerned or related to gas. And this morning I'm joined by Richard Otieno, who is the head of operations and ESG, and the brand is Zuri Gas. Richard, thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, so Richard, I think this is just a brief intro about yourself. How would you describe yourself and what you do?
Okay, so as I've said, my name is Richard Otieno. I'm the head of operations and ESG. ESG basically means environment, social and governance. It's an entity, a new entity coming into Kenya business model that focus on ethical practices and sustainability. So Ideal Gas, I work with a company called Energy Invention. So Energy Invention has a subsidiary company called Zuri. So Zuri is the one that owns the Zuri gas brand. Yeah.
All right. For how long have you been doing this?
So for the LPG industry, basically the energy, I've been there for 5 years. Yeah.
All right. Now let's get into what concerns our viewers. Of course, you'll be telling us later on why Zuri, because as we were talking before we got live, you were telling me that every supplier gets gas from the same provider.
Yeah.
So what differs is the brand.
The branding and
so
packaging.
what led you to, or what led Zuri brand to, what niche did you see in the market for you to like come out with a different brand? What are you doing differently from other brands?
So thank you. So number one, when you talk of gas, something that comes in your mind is safety. Yeah. So one of the things that we did was on safety. So majorly, all of the brands, you see them in the market, there's also a concern from the consumer that maybe my gas iko na shida nini. So we look at the safety, reliability, yeah, and affordability. Yeah.
We've heard of situations where consumers complain of counterfeit gas or leaking gas and all that is not unsafe for them. How rampant is this? Because you interact with customers almost on a daily basis. How rampant is this?
So one of the things that really affect gas is the issue of counterfeit, or basically we call it cross-filling. And I think the regulator that is in regards to IPRA, they have been working on something for the past like 10 years, just to have technology on the cylinders. So a lot of consumer education is ongoing. Basically from IPRA, forums are being conducted just to ensure that the consumer, because the consumer is the one that dictates the cross-filling. Yeah? Once a consumer does not get gas, ikimwishia kwa nyumba, ata choose to pick what is available. Yeah? And majority of these illegal refills operate during the night. Yeah. Ndio wakati maybe mtu unapika gas inakuishia. Yeah. So ukipigia kampuni kwambia you will have to wait like 2 hours na unataka kupika ugali, that is.
So how do you identify a counterfeit cylinder?
So number one, majorly on all brands, and I want to speak about Zuri. If you look at our cylinder, has different features. Yeah, it has a QR code that you can scan, gives you information on when the cylinder was manufactured, when the cylinder was filled. Yeah, in fact, we are trying to implement more of AI to the system so that we can be able to pick when also this cylinder was sold. Yeah. So also we have other features like the KEBS mark, the weight, the packaging that is in regard to the seal-proof features, the seal cap for 6 and the seal shrink for 13. Yeah.
All right. Now you are talking about a Zuri cylinder, but to our consumer, because at the moment you're not fully operational in Nairobi, that is as far as I understand it.
So Zuri Gas is a new brand in Kenya. We are trying to push our market to Nairobi. So we have Murang'a, we have Kiambu, we are coming to Nairobi. Then we want also to go to the Mount Kenya regions. Yeah.
All right. Assuming someone watching us right now is from, let's say, Kitale or Mombasa.
Yeah.
Zuri Gas cannot be, at the moment, the operations are not extended to those areas.
Okay.
And you've mentioned of features where there's a QR code where you can scan it and identify if the gas is authentic.
Yeah.
So for a person who does not have access to Zuri Gas, how can they identify that this is a fake cylinder, this is an authentic cylinder?
So number one is this. You know, they always say the consumer, the customer is the one that speaks. Yeah. It's not that it's a new thing. Tumepata some of the orders, mtu anakupigia even from Turkana. Nasema, I've seen on your social media this new brand coming in. Can you supply me with maybe 100 pieces? So number one, on the LPG industry, you find that we want to have an affordable product in the market. But now what comes in mind is the process of production of this product is quite expensive. Yeah. Anytime I'm selling my cylinder in the market, I'm losing 500 shillings. So for me to gain these 500 shillings, I need to do like 4 cycles of refill. Yeah. So you can imagine I'm sending this product maybe to a market that I cannot control. So napeana with that loss of 500, inaenda kwa customer, it gets a cross-field person, even then anapoteza that amount of money. Yeah, so that is why the reason why we are going to the market slowly by slowly. Yeah. So once I'm very sure Sai Muranga to Melok, Kiambu are coming in heavily, then Nairobi we're picking because Nairobi basically we just deal with the premium customers. Yeah. So in this regards, I'm saying we have the metallic, then one you always see. I'm very sure that ni unatumia kwa nyumba, and you have something called a composite. A composite is a safe. Majority of the people call it a safe cylinder. It's translucent. You can see the gas levels. Yeah. So import it from China. So this is the one that we're bringing to Nairobi. So the places of Kilimani, Karen, etc.
Right. So in short, you're saying that unless it's Zuri, you cannot identify if a gas cylinder is fake or original.
So for the cylinder you can, but for the gas you can't dictate. So for the cylinder you look at the features, you look at the logo, the branding of logo, you look at the color, you look at the way it is packaged. Our cylinder is coming, has a safety sticker, has a seal cap has some numbers you can call to the company. It has a QR code. Yeah.
All right. I'm a little confused here. Still on identification of a fake or an original gas if it's not Zuri. But you're really throwing me on the edge on this one. Because I'm thinking of if it's not, in short, let's say if it's not a trusted brand, then you may not for sure know that if what you're having is a real thing or it's not a real thing.
So the thing is this, all brands are trusted because they come from somewhere. They come from a company. But what happens is the gas inside. Yeah. Because once I do a refill for you, I'll need to do the quality checks in a cylinder before dispatching to the customer. Now, in the other hand, for the illegal people, they just fill. Yeah. That's why in my packaging of the price of a cylinder, you'll find that maybe my cylinder is a bit ikona kapesa kidogo juu compared to what is in the market, the illegal people. I have to consider labor, I have to consider the branding, transportation, etc. But this guy, anakuzi. So the number one thing is the price. Yeah, because for these all regions we have prices. So there's a region we are refilling at 1,000. We come to a region like where we find students, tunawapea around 960. So number one is the price. So once unapata mtu anakwambia, I'm selling my Zuri, I'm doing a refill for Zuri for around 700. So number one, unaanza kuona this is a fake cylinder. Yeah. So price, number one. Also the features. Yeah. I'm very sure there are kind of cylinders zenye ukiangalia ukienda kwa your retailer you can't buy. Yeah. Maybe ziko rusted, ziko nini. Yeah. So from our side we ensure that only quality products ndio ziko kwa soko. So we try as much as possible to pick the rusted back. So we do for them revalidation, then send back.
All right. You have mentioned something in relation to pricing.
Yeah.
So in as far as I get it, for you to come up with a quality product, you need to get to quality check and all that.
Yeah.
So for your case, where does these costs end up on? Because you have various teams. You have even the digital team that manages, calls and all that.
Yeah.
So where does this extra price go to? Does it go to your pocket, or is this cost transferred to the consumer?
So, and it's a good question because also there's a discussion on the pricing. And the discussion is this. Initially, when you're doing the manufacturing, you go to the place, you pay, the manufacturing for a cylinder is about 1950 to 2050 there. One cylinder, that is a 6 kg cylinder. But what is coming out now is April, the government wants to cater for 60% of the production. Then not 60, 40%. 40% they give to the company, then 20 comes from the consumer. Yeah. So the consumer only pays 20. I'm very sure we have heard of something that the president was speaking about, the 500 refill. Yeah. So this is the 20% that the consumer will be paying, and this is starting, I think, next year January. Yeah. So the refills are around 450 to 500.
So
if it is an implementation that will take place. Yeah. Isipokuwa, you just be hearing of the prices of 1,000, 1,200.
So at the moment, the whole cost goes to the consumer.
Yeah, the whole cost goes to the consumer. But from our side, we are bringing a product with a loss of 500. So 500, ni mimi na chukua hiyo cost.
So how do you stay in business? Because operating on a loss is literally killing the business.
So that is a difficult part, and that's why utapata a brand or LPG. Unapata there are some brands inakuja kwa soko, then after certain times zimepotea. So from our side, yani ni ile tu our wish, yeah, is for us to do 4 refills for a cylinder for us to gain good profits. Yeah.
So are you running a charity? Because if you're operating on a loss continuously, you're operating on a 500 shillings loss per gas, you said.
Per cylinder, yeah.
So how do you compete?
So I think number one, this comes with a goal, what we want to achieve. Yeah? So first of all, us moving to this business, we want to do something called reduction of the carbon emission. Yeah. So we want to help people move from using firewood to using gas. So that is number one goal. So that becomes part of I can quote it like a charity. Yeah. Then we are trying, you've had the talk of the premium customer. So this is a customer haezi refill kwingine. Yeah. This is a customer that focuses on quality more than the cost. Yeah. So we try as much as possible using all platforms such as social media to try and caution the customer that once we give this cylinder, we are giving it at an affordable price. So you need to give it back to us. We refill for you for us to be in business. Yeah.
So if a customer does not get you back the cylinder, that means it's
a loss. Yeah.
All right. So for someone who is planning or maybe has an ambition of beginning should I say no, it's not a gas company, a brand that is related to gas. What are the biggest challenges that you face in staying in business?
So number one is licensing. To get a licensing for LPG is very, very expensive. Yeah, because you have to have a stock of cylinders, 30,000 cylinders. So that is 30,000 times 1950. I was telling you. So you calculate that is in millions. Also getting the licenses, the distance, because I think one of the business in Kenya that you need also, for you to start, you need to have a discussion with the community is LPG. So you have to come to the community, niwaambie, I need to start an LPG. Will you people accept? You go to places where community nakwambia, si mambo na gas hatutaki. Yeah. So the process of you getting the licensing is very expensive and time consuming. So you'll have to have the whole year chasing licenses, talking to the chief, the community, going to IPRA offices. Then another thing, I think, is cross-filling. Yeah, the biggest risk, cross-filling. Yeah. So a person can just decide to keep your cylinders, afanye biashara, ikirasa na kurudishia. Then again, you have to incur revalidation costs. Again, you bring in the product with a loss. Yeah.
So are there regulations that are currently working? You know, there might be regulations, but then they're not working. Are there working regulations that are managing this cross-filling challenge that companies are facing?
Yeah, there are regulations. I think the regulator is doing some good things together with the ministry. But I think one of the things that us as the business we are pushing for the regulator is for them to incorporate technology. Yeah, because majorly of their way of doing things is traditional way. So they just come, they check, do you have a license? You don't have the clause. Yeah, but these things are things that they can check. They can put a portal. They can even advertise all the companies that are certified to conduct the business. Yeah.
All right. So how You mentioned earlier that you're planning to involve AI in this.
Yeah.
So how are you planning to do it, and what can the government or the regulators learn from that?
So number one, we have a QR code system. It uses a scanner, so you can scan and get information. So there's something we call a SCADA and IoT in the system, and I think it is connected to something called you have heard of a cylinder that you pay as you cook. Yeah,
that's new.
It's not new. It's a product imekuwa kwa soko. There are some cylinders that you either pay 50 bob, then unapikia hiyo pesa ikiisha, you also need to pay another amount.
All right.
Yeah, they are there. Some of them are supported by this the big corporations, the Safaricom, etc. So that is an example of the system in place. So from our side, a customer can scan. Once you scan, you can use that. It gives you a link. Yeah. So from that link, we have connected it to the AI system. So there is no person. It's like a bot. Yeah. So from that link, you get all the information on the cylinder. Yeah.
So what are the limitations of using technology in this?
I think technology, one of the limitations maybe ni have a failure on the system.
Has it happened before?
No, it has not happened. But technology changes every day. Yeah. Leo utasikia AI is doing this, tomorrow it may change. Inaanza kufanya something else. Also a bigger risk in regards to technology na AI, I think, is privacy. Yeah. So we give the AI companies a lot of information in regards to your business.
All right.
Yeah. So if I'm the big boss, yeah, assuming now I'm a multinational, I can be able to pick this information and use to my benefit.
That is what someone was saying, that there's nothing that is tech related that can be given for you for free, and people really monetize on your personal data. So if this, you've already seen it in your business as a foreseeable challenge, do you think this can be affecting or might be the reason why the government is reluctant in terms of adopting technology to manage most of the businesses in the country, or regulate most of the businesses? Because we've also seen county bosses wakikata ku incorporate e-procurement system and all that. So could that be the reason that you think most people are reluctant in adopting technology?
So I think number one, you can't fight technology. That is number one. And I'll give you an example. I'll give an example of e-citizen. Yeah. So you find government is trying to put all services to e-citizen, but also the people, us, you find there's a lot of complaints coming from the system. Either it takes time for you to get a service, sometimes unaipata hata hayuko, and the same regards to maybe to share and etc. So number one, hawezi achana nayo. So it's just for you kuichukua, then you use what is important to you. Number two, I think now also the workforce yes, the young people. You look at me, and I think it's one of the biggest thing. Unapata most companies are trying to bring in the young workforce. Yeah? This young workforce wants to work very independent. You find me, nakwambia, as long as I'm productive, si lazima unione kwa ofisi. Yeah? I'm telling because I have a team of around more than 50 people. Half of this team wanna work from home. He said they're doing hybrid ama remote. Yeah?
Okay.
So anakwambia, as long as you get I have achieved my KPIs, hakuna haja unione. One of kwa my KPIs, hakuna a place where you say at lazima unione kwa kazi. Yeah. So that is technology. So it's a guy to generate a system, yet unapata reports. Yeah.
All right. Do you consider that a challenge or something positive?
It's something positive, and number one, because it gives someone freedom to do a lot of things. Yeah. Unajua ya ofisi ni ya kitambo, it's a traditional way. Yeah.
Most people don't want that. Now, where do you see this gas business in the next 5-10 years to come?
So I think even not in the next 10 years, let's say 5 years, because it's the vision of the government and also the international bodies for the uptake of LPG in Kenya to move from 5% sahi iko around 5 to 7 to 15 per person ama per household. So sahi tuko around 30% uptake. So they want it to go to 70%. So the opportunity is there. Yeah? That's why hata ukisema us losing, we look at the opportunity that is coming in.
All right.
Yeah.
If in as far as conservation of the environment is concerned and protection of the ozone layer, could this be something that is you're foreseeing a future where it will be funded by international bodies to encourage use of clean energy?
Yeah. So I think when I started, I have a department called ESG, yeah, which look at the sustainability. So basically, sustainability means what I'm doing today should not affect the next generation. Yeah. So I think one of the goals, not even us as a business, but Kenya as a government, is to push the adoption of LPG for every Kenyan. Yeah. So number one, there are a lot of leeway to the regulations. So they are trying to put them, not the traditional way, them to be easy for investors to move in the business. Number two, they are partnering with a lot of other agencies. For instance, you've heard of reticulation. Yeah. So reticulation basically means for the new estates coming in, for the building codes, you have to give a leeway for reticulation of LPG. All the new buildings coming in, estates, etc. Lazima weka leeway ya kuweka reticulation LPG.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's encouraging for someone who wants to venture in the business of gas. Yeah. Now, how can our viewers find Zuri?
So, Zuri on our social media platform is Zuri Gas Facebook, Zuri Gas Twitter, Zuri Gas Instagram, TikTok. I saw some posts yesterday for TikTok, Zuri Gas TikTok, also LinkedIn Zuri Gas.
And what about in terms of supplies?
So in terms of supplies, we have distributors across these 3 counties, that is Murang'a, Kiambu and Nairobi. We also partnered with supermarkets. You go to Ananas, you find our stall there. You go to Siata, Kiambu Road, you find our stall there. We are building one at Juja City Mall. Yeah. We also have a different sales rep. Yeah. And the good thing, and I've told you about the young workforce, yeah, we are partnering with students. Yeah. So if you're a student, you can be able to control maybe people in your plot. You just come to us, we write an agreement down, we tell you, we'll be giving you this stock, we'll offer you a storage place. Yours is just to sell to the students, and you earn something.
All right. Now, as we bring this to an end, finally, why Zuri?
So, number one, our tagline says, reliable energy, safe every time. So, we have a safe product. It's reliable. In terms of costing, we consider every aspect of life. So, that's why you'll find us for the interior parts of Murang'a, where the kuna kina shosho na wazee, we try to incorporate their needs. Yeah? So, we give them the best affordable price in the market. Also, in terms of technology, I think we have used all the gaps from these old cylinders to build a technological-driven product in the market. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Richard, for
Thank you.
making time for us this morning.
Thank you, too.
You've heard from the gentleman. Did you say reliable and?
It's reliable energy, safe every time.
Reliable energy, safe every time. That is Zuri for you, a gas cylinder that you can always verify its authenticity using the QR code. So that has been the conversation surrounding the gas business. If you are interested in venturing in that business, you have a thing or two that is in terms of trade secrets, how you can, you're not at zero. You at least know where to begin from. And if you're someone who is looking forward to having a reliable gas, or you're looking forward to getting in business, you want to be a salesperson, there is also work for that matter. So thank you so much, Richard, for making time for us this morning. And to our viewers back at home, at this point, we are taking a very short break. We'll be back with the newspaper review on the state of our nation. Stay tuned.
practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Bajuka ni kama unarusha mamikono, tingisha kichwa chungu usivunje kisogo. Mbona nyinyi na wawasha nkikula nyama choma tu firifiri na give me your hand and shoulder. I'm feeling vibes on vibes. I'm a ticking diner. Tell them twerking. Pull up the lambas swerving. I work so hard, you know I don't want no stress. I don't get time to impress. Got a girl with a lovely dress. Yeah, yeah.
Ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka, akawa tuzo. Ukakamavu wake, ukatii, na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke, akabaini jinsi ya kuweni. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari, kwa jinsi alivyo ngari-ngari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake, nami Caroline Kimwele.
Hii mic si tutatumia moja sasa, they'll have to do vile tulifanya jana.
Naam, ungana nami Malkia wa Tarab katika mitindo ya kipwani hapa KUTV. Yaani tunapozungumzia mitindo ya kipwani basi unaona napigwa na mawimbi makali sana ya baharini kutoka katika ufuo wa hoteli moja inayofahamika kama North Coast Beach Hotel, ambao ndio wadhamini wa kipindi hiki cha mitindo ya kipwani. Penzi mtazamaji, kwenye mitindo ya kipwani hutakosa kupata mapishi ya vyakula vya kipwani. Yaani hapa tunazungumzia vyakula vilivyokolezwa na kukorombezwa. Iliki, karafuu, abdalasini, samaki wa baharini, vyakula vilivyopikwa na kusukwa kwa kutumia nazi. Bila kusahau mazungumzo ya moja kwa moja, mazungumzo ya kusisimua na wataalam tofauti, waandishi wa vitabu waliobobea, watunzi wa kuhani mashairi. Bila kusahau mpenzi mtazamaji, taratibu zetu za tarabu na chakacha. Yaani pale ni pale ambapo viuno vya wanawake vinazungushwa kisawasawa kama panga boy za trekta ndani ya KUTV mitindo ya kipwani. Ukiwa nami na hodha wako Waridi Tamu. Usiakose matamu jamani.
Ni mwalimu wa walimu, na wengi wanamjua kwa ajili ya uandishi wa tamthilia ya Kigogo, ila ameandika zaidi ya vitabu 100 vilivyo sokoni.
Nilipopata nakala nilijisikia vizuri sana. Yaani unasikia vizuri sana. Na nikapata mshawasha wa kuandika zaidi. Na tangu hapo sijaangalia nyuma. Yaani unakipata unataka kukaa nacho, kulala nacho, kuketi nacho, yaani hutaki kukiachilia, ni kama kitoto.
Wiki hii mjue Bi Pauline Kea kwa undani, tukigusia safari yake ya uandishi katika kipindi cha mwanamke mwake, ukiwa nami Caroline Kimwele.
Bajuka ni kama unarusha mamikono, tingisha kichwa chungu usivunje kisogo. Mbona nyinyi na wawasha nkikula nyama choma tu firifiri na give me your hand and shoulder. Niko na pesa kushinda baba
Kochi. I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland. And I'm the main coordinator of the Cafe project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Eva Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa Okemwa Mukwa James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
They find it quite strange talking to you.
You should just make schools integrated
Inclusive setups.
by providing the right facilities.
All right, welcome back. The gentlemen are in studio ready to talk about matters related to state of our nation. And we'll be taking a look at 2 newspapers this morning. That is the Standard, the World newspaper, of course, and the Daily Nation. Allow me to introduce the guest in studio, beginning from my far right. Kibet, karibu.
Thank you so much for having me in your show today, and I appreciate it, and I hope it will be a very good, insightful, thoughtful conversation.
Thank you so much.
Asante. I'm still Ojwa, mtoto wa Mariam, Lieutenant Colonel, Senior Warrant Officer 1. And if you're coming from our communities, then you'll know. Mimi ni Mkenya, Kenya nae, lakini Kenya wake usi Kenya. I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. Hey, I almost said tonight.
Karibu tuende tonight. Kumawaka that design. I love it.
I'm used to tonight so much. So this morning, it's all politics.
It's all politics. I see State House. I'm happy at what is happening in State House.
It's all politics. At the moment right now, unajua you can hata wewe unaweza ingia State House.
Wacheni watu waende State House. Ndio wengine waache kukatalia huko ama cha kujenga kanisa huko.
Kila mtu can get to State House. And this morning let's shift our conversations a little bit towards Kisii region, and we're having headline given prominence on the Standard. War against Matiang'i. This is former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i's declaration 4 months ago that he will run for president in 2027 has clearly struck a nerve in President William Ruto's camp. Behind the scenes, a covert plan is in motion with state machinery rolled out, senior civil servants flexing power, money changing hands, and threats issued, all aimed at clipping Matiang'i's rising stature in Nyanza and across the country. If you look at the Daily Nation, we have 2 instances where delegations from the Kisii community visited State House. We have 2 instances. So the Standard are saying, Matiang'i ameambiwa, slow down. Professor wa siasa is still in office. Mambo ni 2 term. Conversations are shifting towards the 2027 presidential election. If we take a look at the moment, we also have impeached deputy president, that is Rigathi Gachagua. Hata tuseme entirely because the case is still in court, but we also have him declaring to run for presidency, and he has already begun giving his promises. Amesema he's a truthful man. He won't lie to Kenyans. Muna madeni nyingi. hata wadanganya. We also have a section of Kirinyaga residents saying they're supporting Matiang'i. They're rallying behind Matiang'i. We have Kalonzo. Let me not say he's a backing dog, but we also have Kalonzo, who is on the sidelines also pushing forward for his bid. And we also have the ODM, a section of ODM. We know it's divided at the moment. The likes of Sifuna saying that ODM is capable of presenting their own candidate. Again, let me begin from my far right, Kibet. Let me get your sentiments on the current, not just war against Matiang'i, but the rest towards the presidential elections or the presidency come 2027. What do you feel about it?
The presidency comes 2027. It's a well thought of narrative that President William Ruto will have a second easy chance to the House of the Hill, because all I can see is that Matiang'i and others are preparing for 2032 politics, and 2027 so decided in that given that Raila and Ruto working together, they control a very big margin of numbers, very big margin of counties that there are almost 21 at the moment. So for you to declare the presidency in Kenya, you need at least 25 counties, and having 21 in control in their numbers, in their basket, it brings us to 4 counties that are 4 counties that are on the margin to flip on the Kenya Kwanza administration. Given that Matiang'i, war against Matiang'i is a non-starter currently at the moment, because when you look at his back, he doesn't have a well-thought mercenaries of voters. Because for you to be declared president, you need at least 2 to 3 million from your ethnic community, and given that the Kisii region almost 1.5 million, and the Nyanza community, the whole of Nyanza community are behind President Raila Odinga and William Ruto, it gives Matiang'i a very hard task for him to climb to the House of the Hill.
That is quite bold. The whole of Nyanza region. You know, I come from Nyanza, yes. And you have classified me under the whole of Nyanza region. So, do you agree with the standard that the president is shaken?
The president is not shaken, because from the word go, people are telling us the president is shaken. How can somebody who controls the entire country be shaken?
21 counties is not entire country.
Yes, 21 counties is a very big numbers, because for you to win the presidency, you need at least 25 of them. So when you control 21, you remain with 4 counties that are battleground. So the battleground counties that we give it to Tharaka Nithi, we give it to Meru, we give one to, let's say for example, give one to Kisii, because Kisii the other day we saw a very handful people from Kisii region and Nyamira coming to State House. So those are almost 4 counties, and having that, people are telling us the election is about numbers. It's not about the rage you create on social media and everything. And election is being won at the polling station. So having 21 counties in the basket, it gives President William Ruto second term so much easy. And when you see the opposition are not all united. Given that Matiang'i, Kalonzo, and others, those I think for Matiang'i, we can give him a try in 2032 after Raila Amolo Odinga and President William Ruto get over the scene.
Mm-hmm. But going by the fact that the Kisii region has been called to State House twice, could this be a sign that the president is trying to shift prominence from Matiang'i to his side?
No, the president is not. The last year election, I was supporting Raila Amolo Odinga, and we were behind the fully Azimio, and Raila got almost 50% of votes in Kisii region. Now, President William Samoei Ruto got almost 30% or 33%, from 30 to 33%, and they were not. Most of the Kisii were in ODM. Up to now, most of the Kisii are ODM. Given that also Matiang'i controls some major sections of Kisii County and Nyamira, I give him that. So 2027, bringing grassroots leaders to State House, it's about changing the grassroots election. The elections are won on grassroots. And when you have the opinion shapers, the grassroots leaders, and the leaders from Kisii and Nyamira, it gives President William Ruto an upper hand in the coming election. Changing from 33% up to 40 to 45%.
All right. Ojwang,
Umecheza na numbers.
is the president shaken?
The president is shaken by those same numbers. You are a president of the country. It means in 2022, more than 25 counties had said, Hustler Tosha. If you have Baba on your side today, who controls ODM at the grassroots level, it means you're supposed to still have your 25%. Plus at least 10% of Baba. Let me tell you why he's shaken. Before 2022, from 2022, people were not going to State House until people start questioning State House, because the civic awakening has started to make people see State House as their own. It is ours. It does not belong to the president. And you will hear these debates, they trended when State House was being allocated billions for renovations, for roofing, for renovations again. And now, President Ruto is reminding them that you can come here to sisi wote. Shamba la wanyama narrative. And mahali kuna tandabelua zaidi, ni hapo mahali Daktari Matiang'i anatoka. On August 10th, Nyamira and Kisii waliingia State House. On September 11th, Kisii waliingia State House tena. But he has said that in the last election, 2022, the Azimio carried the day in Kisii region. The last time I ever saw the senator for Kisii, Richard Onyonka, who was rooting for Matiang'i. But CS Migos Ogamba Julius, if you may, has been not in the ground. Yeye hajulikani kwa ground. Yeye ni mtu alikampeni wakaweka ule mzee masomo yakamlemea kabisa, wakasema ule mwenye alikuwa anataka kuwa deputy governor wako ndo atachukua. Now that's how Ogamba came into limelight. But on the other hand, Matiang'i has been there as a CS for Interior and Administration, and he was called a super CS. So anajulikana pale mtaani. When he was campaigning in 2022, he was in Azimio. So anajua ile nguvu walipeleka huko Kisii, Nyamira, now that wanatoka hayo maeneo. So ni kugumu pale kwa ground. But pesa ni mingi zaidi. And the youths of this country know and understand one thing. Na tulisema manze, kula kwa wote, kura ndo siri. Wewe ukiona pesa inakuja, ebu vaa hiyo t-shirt. Hata hatuna nguo mpya siku hizi. Kama t-shirt imekuja ni ya Jubilee, unavaa, unalipo zako, unaenda home. Usipigane na mtu yeyote, unakula fit. Na tulisema pia pesa za campaign usitumie kukunywa pombe. Kula nyama wewe. Next wameleta ya DCP, ingia hapo hivyo, wakiitana State House, usiogope, everyone is going to State House and no one is benefiting after. Una benefit tu hiyo siku ya kuingia State House. The other day they had empowerment where youths from our constituency Roysambu attended. Wengi sana tuliona mpaka kwa video. Mambo yalikuwa matamu kule, pilau iko na kichele. Wanasema 2 term. After wameondoka unasikia sisi bodaboda zetu hazikufika, watu wengine waliibiwa. Inafika mahali hadi MCA anaambiwa zile groups ama CBO mlipe empowerment equipment. Tunataka video yao. Unapata group moja hawa watu wako hapo 10, hizi zingine 4 ni the same people. Ni vile kwa hii huyu ndio chairman, kwa hii nyingine huyu mwingine ndio secretary. So hakuna watu hapa, ni watu the same. Utapata hawa watu wa Kisii wenye walikuwa huku August 10th ndo wako September 11th. Ndio maana hadi wanafika mahali wanaitwa grassroots leaders. Ndio usiulize kwani wale pekee ndo ukuja. Sasa ndio uambiwe hapana, hao ni viongozi wanakuja kuwapangia mambo. But in real sense mambo mangapi yamepangika?
All right. Ojwang, someone might argue umesema the president is shaken. Ruto has been, we call him Professor Siasa. He has been in politics from being elected as a member of parliament
I think the
From
Gen
that
Z
year
ndo
all
wanaweza
the way.
muita hivyo. I think the Gen Z ndo would call President Ruto professor wa siasa.
Now
For
looking
people-
at Matiang'i, he's not been elected by
Yeah.
the public.
Yeah.
So how would the president be shaken by someone who has not been elected before?
No, when you're talking comparing Ruto vis-a-vis Matiang'i, then we are missing the whole picture that concerns opposition. Because it's not only Matiang'i who's going for the presidency in 2027. And the more we keep fighting at your Ruto against Matiang'i, the person who is gaining there is Matiang'i. Because we are saying this other professor has been in politics since akiwa kijana kaa kina Ojwang 1992, alikuwa YK92, si ndio? Saa hizi tumesema, na sio mimi nimesema, that he has control of 21 counties. Yet, for you to be allowed by IEBC to vie, you must be supported by 25 counties. It means, as it stands right now, angeenda tu kuvai, hangepata hata hiyo nini ticket. Juu ako 21, anasema ako 21 counties ndo zinamsupport. The rest zina dwindle. He's shaken up by that because it is the same person who is said aliwin na 50 plus in 2022.
Let me correct you a little bit because you don't understand what I say. President, if you go back to 2017, President Uhuru Kenyatta had 19 counties, and he won the election. 2017.
2017, President Uhuru.
Yes. He had 19 counties on his basket and he won the election. On his second election. 2020, right now, President William Ruto is not shaken. And I can give you
He has how many counties?
He has 21 counties. 21 counties.
And Babas?
If you add, let's say for example, if you add Babas, if we go with the last election, Raila got 6.9 million. Ruto got 7.2 million.
But Raila got those votes because of people like myself. I voted for Raila.
I also voted for Raila.
And now I will not vote for Raila in 2027.
I'll vote for
You will
William
not
Ruto.
vote for Raila.
I will vote for William Ruto.
You see, so hatuwezi piga hizi hesabu vile zilikuwa. Namba zimebadilika sana.
Even if numbers zimebadilika,
unajua 2022
you'll agree with me if you add 7.2 million plus 6.8 million, those are almost 15 million votes. And if you minus 4 million, those are 10 million. So William Ruto is not shaken. William Ruto is not shaken. President William Ruto presidency is not shaken because for the last 3 years in Kenya Kwanza government, people are blaming President William Ruto because of inflation, and for you know people like the truthful man from he is a coward because at the end of the day he doesn't mean his words. He told us that he compares his presidency with Kibaki, and he forgets that under Uhuru regime we experienced a lot of things that could not been accounted for. Under Uhuru regime there was a lot of taxes being implemented because at that time we had the first finance bill. At that time the inflation rate was very high. The bay of unga was very high. The bay of fertilizers was high. Because at that time people were very focused on stealing and over borrowing and over taxing Kenyans. Right now the president came and said enough is enough. We're not going to follow what Uhuru did in the last 10 years. For me, I'm going to change the narrative. I'm going to bring the services closer to Wananchi, and that's what President William Ruto has done in his 3 years of tenure in government. So when people compare, when people are saying President William Ruto is one time, those are just nonsense.
Can I speak about borrowing? In the whole decade, 10 years of former president and the late President Kibaki, he borrowed 1.2 trillion. 10 years.
Yes.
Right now,
we go with
1
Uhuru.
year.
I'll go with Uhuru.
1 year. Uhuru. Okay. Uhuru. We can also compare what Uhuru borrowed in the whole 10 years.
How much? How much did he borrow in the last
9 trillion.
9 trillion.
10 years.
10 years, yes.
Right now, we are talking about 1 year. We have already borrowed 1.2 trillion. Last week, on the newspaper review, we were translating this, imeandikwa kwa gazeti, to 3.3 billion a day in terms of kukopa. But hizi pesa, tunafaa kukopa for development. There is no other reason unafaa kukopa. Ufai kukopa ulipe watu.
Let me ask you a simple question because you don't understand. The last 10 years of Uhuru, we had Eurobond, right? It had
hadi
matured.
saizi iko in fact tumechukua mpaka ingine
It had matured, right? First installment was supposed to be paid this year. President William Ruto, he had to
lazima angekopa alipe
si
na si
ndio?
umesema akopi
He had to borrow to repay.
If you compare,
so you listen, according to our constitution, the only reason you are supposed to borrow hata kama ni IMF ni ufanye maendeleo ndo tupate njia ya kulipa. Otherwise, if I will borrow Anyango hapa Sylvia 10k ndo nikulipe wewe, hawa wenye watalipa watabaki na deni mara tatu.
All right. Let's then we were talking about if Matiang'i is shaken,
Matiang'i
if
is shaken. Matiang'i is shaking, and I've talked about
Not
numbers.
Matiang'i, Ruto.
No, they are shaken, both of them. Ruto is shaken because of numbers. He has 21 counties right now. With all that power, 21 counties vis-a-vis 2022, and you have been. People are calling you a professor of politics. You have been there since 1992. It is because people are crying. Hawa watu wanaingia State House, wakirudi nyumbani, wanaenda wanalia. Watashukuru juu hiyo siku amepata punch. Na hiyo ndo siku pekee wanasema 2 term. Ukimpata kwa the next nini atasema 1 term. Ukimpea punch tena atasema 2 term.
All right. Now let's shift from that conversation whether Matiang'i is shaken, Ruto is shaken.
Yeah, shaken. Everyone is shaken.
We'll see that on the polls.
Whatever we're experiencing right now, we have never experienced it. That's why we are saying, if you compare 2022 and 2027, you say that Ruto will win because he won in 2022. You are living in the past.
You're not living in the past because it's truth. He doesn't have it. When you look all those the 3 candidates that are vying for president, do you think Matiang'i has the muscles to hover around the country,
but
to
I know
look
7.
for
Maybe
every single
7.
votes? Who are the 7? Because
7. We have Okia Omtata.
Okay, Mtata, he can't.
We have David Maraga.
David Maraga cannot. He doesn't understand the dynamics of politics. We got.
But he has been a president in the judiciary.
I love
There's difference between being a civil servant and being a career politician. Those are 2 different things.
But we are the same Kenyans. We are saying we need to elect leaders and not politicians.
Kenyans will elect politicians,
not leaders.
President William Ruto is a leader and a politician at the same time.
A leader has goodwill. A politician doesn't.
This is going to get deep. When we are talking about conversations on goodwill, it's going to get deep. Let's shift gears from politics a little bit and talk about this is matters. How will I categorize this? No kiss, no marriage. Court widens divorce grounds, redefines cruelty. That story is on The Standard, page 3. And Justice Nyakundi ruled that no couple should be coerced into sustaining a marriage that exists only on paper. Please don't bring politics in this. I know, Juang, you might say, oh, marriage yenye tuko nayo sahi na Kenya Kwanza, it's a failed marriage. Don't bring politics in this. The case before the court involved a couple married in 2012 who had not been intimate since 2020. It's 2025.
They've been married on paper.
They've been married on paper, and they are so much broader. Sorry. That is the grounds of divorce, and this, they say, it involves physical and mental cruelty, among many other issues listed there on page 12. The reason why I wanted us to talk about this is about the mental state of our country right now. We've had a story run on the police officers being advised to save for their future. And I don't know about the numbers. I've not looked into the numbers. But I wonder how it's like to live with trauma and survive in a marriage with a police officer. I don't know how good they are, because research says that they are most traumatized because they interact with crime at the initial stages, because they're the first responders as far as crime is concerned. We also have the economic situation in the country leading to failed marriages, because sometimes they say that money is not everything in a relationship, but money controls the relationship. So we have issues that are leading to emotional trauma in relationships and families that we don't talk about. We only talk about it at the time when imefika, when tunasema, hey, you're a toxic person, I cannot live without you anymore. But we forget what leads to that. And from having financial difficulties, which is mostly stemming from everything we say in this show, that stems from governance. Let me begin with you, Juan. The current state of our emotional health, what would you stem it from? Where do you root it from, the current state of our mental health? Because I believe in solving problems from the roots.
You know, one of the reasons I'm peace and sustainability advocate is because I believe everything good a man does in search of peace. Everything bad a man does in search of peace. And in this case, it's not only the police alone who go through such traumas. Even other industries, the corporate sector, unaingia bank, unapata huyu madam aliamka, maybe juu ya kuchoka jana aliamka late. Sasa amechora tu nini hata ijatokea vizuri. So ukimwangalia first impression, you think she's already angry. You want to sympathize. Na niaje madam, ukitumia hiyo sauti sasa anajam. Juu yeye amefurahi sana, ni vile tu alichora nini vibaya, anajam, anaanza kukumbuka kila kitu kilikuwa kimemjamisha. Maybe akona watoto, mostly 3. Amesumbuliwa na house girl. Pesa hazitoshi zile zenye analipwa, hata kosa hizi shida za mental health. That's why people look for what they call better halves. Because when unaenda kutafuta bwana ama unaenda kutafuta bibi, unatafuta mtu mwenye you can ease the struggles of life. You can be yourself even with them. You can be vulnerable even on their side bila wao kukujudge. So it's so hard kwa wale ambao wameolewa na wanapolisi ama wameoa wanapolisi. Because mwanapolisi siku yake by jioni, apart from kuona hongo, kuna vitu zingine mwanapolisi huona zenye ni traumatic. Si hongo pekee. Ameenda witness case ya accident. Yeye kama first responder atashughulika pale hivyo. Ameanza kudeal na damu, na juu ni binadamu ana get emotional. Most of them hata hawana ile usaidizi enough ya medical, so they have to do contact. Wapigie hosi. Sasa si anafanya first aid na first aid ajui. The more you get messy, unakuwa na hizo mental pictures hadi ukifika home. Unafika home, unapata mshahara yenye unapewa na serikali yako ni kidogo. So pale nyumbani huko umeacha do. Unapata bibi amejam to a point, maybe yeye afikiri vile anaweza saidia. Anashangaa, mbona wale polisi wengine wamejaza hongo mifukoni, wao hadi matumbo zinakaa hivi. Na huyu bwana wangu kila siku anakuja tu na traumas. Hao ndo hao good cops. Good cops ndo wanaumiaga in terms of mental health. Bad cops hawaumii. Bad cop hakuna mahali anaumia huko nje. It's only the good that suffer. Even in cases of mental health issues, hao wenye ni wazuri ndo wanasuffer. And it calls upon us in how we are relating in one another. Tunakuwa very careful. Ukipatana na ule kijana pale, understand that ule kijana anaweza kuwa ni baba ya mtu, ule kijana anaweza kuwa hadi ni bwana ya mtu, but the state ya mental health yenye imemweka hapo, maybe financial reasons ama mashida zingine, imemfanya akae kama hana dignity. So wewe usimnyime dignity, so that when kama goes around, it does not do the same to you. And when it does the same to you, because you know, you won't feel vibaya. Hauta feel vibaya mtu pengine akikufanyia mabaya ama akitaka kukukwaruza. Kwa nini? You understand, anatafuta peace na hana. Unajaribu tu kumgawia. We can do it. Sio polisi pekee wanaumia. Sote tunaumia. Ulize Gen Z siku hizi hawawani. Wanasema, wewe kuwa bro basi, tutaongea. Wewe kuwa sis, tutaongea. Tuta-cooperate.
All right, Kibet. What's your sentiments on the current state of our mental health in the country?
The current state of the mental health in our country, it's a bit fragile because everybody goes through different kind of battles in their life, and you cannot compare myself to yourself at the end of the day, because level of thinking and your level of thinking, those are two different kind of thoughts. So it's about understanding one's nature, because they are very kind. If you go to psychology, there's kind, there's avoidant, there are narcissist, there are those different kind of human behavior that are they're into their heart. So mostly depends on how somebody is being brought up. So I cannot speak more about this thing because it's a very wide kind of field. To the level of depth in it, it's so high that it needs mutual understanding and a mutual relationship between two people.
How do we get ourselves from this?
First of all, to deal with mental health, it's very hard, and to get through it, it depends on one's level of capacity, or one level of thoughts for you to deal with it. Some people may think that death is the only way, but for me, I don't advocate for that, because at the end of the day, you have to sit down, talk, and when you talk to somebody, and someone who listens to you, we're going to advise you on how to go about it.
Right. Thank you. I was almost becoming sentimental. All right. Now, our teachers in the country have been complaining. Where is that story? Page 2 of the Standard. Teachers back Missouri on hosting JSS in high schools. That is career path. We have several complaints related to JSS. We have where teachers are complaining that the primary schools are not able to host the JSS learners in as far as laboratories is concerned, and all that. And we also have the teachers themselves complaining about having about their career progression. And I understand that the JSS, because I'm a teacher also, if you're in JSS, you're under C2, your salary is just the same as that person who is in high school. Everything is the same. So there have been complaints that they want their own body, or rather they want the children to go to to high school, where there are laboratories that can support them. And we've also had parents having their fair share of complaints that the children are too young to be going to campus at that age.
Is it campus or high school?
Sorry. High school at that age.
Yes.
I want to take when I didn't want to come back to politics, but anyway, everything touches on politics in this country. So when our president was coming in, during the campaigns, one of the promises was that he will do away with CBC, which he did, because right now it's CBE. Right now it's CBE. But still we have a problem in as far as the syllabus is concerned. We've had teachers complain at the beginning of the terms that they don't know what they're going to teach. We've had them complain of mode of delivery, especially for the STEM subjects in terms of laboratories and all that. So it is this mode of education, not the mode of education. Under free primary education, we've had conversation about that, and under the new constitution, in as far as education funding is concerned and all that, we also have. I want us to wrap matters education all in one. We've also had a situation where the university dons, have given their strike notice that they're going to down their tools if they're not, their agreements are not met. Let me begin from you, Kibet. Is there something that we are doing wrong as a country, and are we risking the future of our young people in the country because of these very many complaints that you're seeing, or is this just propaganda?
At the end of the day, change is gradual, and change is inevitable in each and every country. If you look at the level of education in our country, it was a way back, because Ghana had overtaken us and South Africa in terms of the central CBE in education. So for us to change, because right now the president had allocated 1 million shillings to each and every primary school to build grade 9. So that's a level step ahead, and it's a level step ahead because at the end of the day, people should each and everybody, even the Constitution of Kenya says everybody should have in learning, a right to right to education, and right to education, right to health, and because it is also entailed in our Constitution. So when people complain about a problem, they always summarize it into one, and they look for solutions. So I'm sure right now that the president is working in day out to make sure that the learners in primary school get the best education going forward. Because at the end of the day, bringing junior secondary schools, it brings a leeway in that. I'm looking in that. Yes, they are bringing laboratories to primary schools. Also, that opens a leeway for job employment and job employment for other people who have done laboratories. Because if let's say, for example, there are 10,000, if next financial year the president decided now I'm going to build 10,000 laboratories, those are also 10,000 job employments, the people who will be employed in the market. So for me it's like the transition was very fast. It happened under Uhuru administration, and under Ruto administration it's kind of improving. So by the time we are in the fourth or fifth year in the education CBC, everything will be well streamlined.
Mm-hmm. Let me bring a question of goodwill, because when this was brought, I had many teachers say that it's a good thing, despite complaints from parents that this is it brings the work to the teacher, because sometimes you go to a cyber and you find a parent doing work for the student, or teachers, okay, is it the teachers or the syllabus asking for really crazy stuff?
Yes.
Unaitishwa sijui ngozi ya sijui nini, unaenda kuunda ngoma, and it's in Nairobi, so you wonder how that is going to happen. But then when the president was coming in, the first thing we saw him appear to be fighting the new education system. So I have a question of goodwill in terms of education. Was it to build his own legacy, or was he fighting his predecessor, or what was it about?
You know, when the president was fighting about at that time, the CBC, the competency-based education, those CBC and CBE right now, and when you look at other countries that are advancing against us in the job market and in terms of technology, there. If you look at Ghana education, in 2000, Kenya education was the best in all of Africa.
And today?
Not today, because South Africa and Ghana had overtaken us, and also Rwanda was at the verge of overtaking us. So how do we improve our kids in the next job market? So we have to bring something that are very competency-based education to learners, in that when they come to the job market, somebody will know where he will advance his career on, or he will the pathway to job market. It has been now made easier for learners at the end of the day, because somebody will know this is where I'm going to pursue this, and after this is what I'm going to do in my next career.
Yes. Ojo, as a parent, are you worried about the education of your child?
That question is too specific, because I'm not worried about education of my daughter, but I'm worried about education of all other children. The reason I'm not worried about mine is because I take education so personal that I'm the first teacher of my daughter. I'm the first mentor of my daughter. In fact, when I told her to write anything, she wrote that I'm best friend. So as a friend, I'm a teacher. Mtoto wangu huenda shule akalan kudeal na wale watoto wengine, akalan kukaa kwa system for those hours hadi saa 10 akiwa ametulia kwa hiyo gate, and then afanye exam. But hizo zingine zote ni responsibility ya kila mzazi kujifunzia mtoto. Ndio maana wengine usema wacha mimi nipeleke wangu Brookhouse. Alafu yule mzazi mwenye ako pale gate au mashinani amelemewa kabisa, anapatia serikali imsomeshe through public primary education. In 2 or 3, let's talk about why people get second chances and why they should not get second terms. In 2 or 3, someone was telling both President Kenyatta and President Moi that we can have free primary education in this country if all things were right. They did not believe him. But in 2002 October, Raila Odinga says Kibaki tosha. And immediately, kuingia tu hivi, immediately masomo ikakuwa ya bure. Whether tuko na do ama hakuna do. But in 2022, immediately tuliambiwa kwanza tuko na empty coffers. Mngojee kwanza tutafute pesa. Kwa process ya kutafuta pesa, education ili deteriorate. Education today is not the same as education before 2022. Yet, before 2022, tulikuwa tumepitia hadi pandemic moja noma. If today a pandemic hits Kenya, I bet tuko na goodwill ya kusaidia hawa wa Kenya. Hatuna. Bado tumekwamia kwa education. Education ndo kitu kikubwa sana kilifanya. When people were campaigning, those who were campaigning for President Mwai Kibaki in 2007 to come back, wakisema Kibaki tena, they were using education. Wakisema huyu ametuletea masomo ya free, uchumi unawaka, and that is then. World today, kwa wale ambao wamemake it washaomoka, wanasema wamemake it juu kuna financial literacy, digital innovation, education systems iko fiti, meaning kama 2 or 3 tulimanage kufanya hivyo, leo, hata si leo, in 2023, tulifaa kuwa mbele sana. That is why wale vijana, ile 2 or 3, walikuwa metengeneza kitu nito Vision 2030. That by 2030, wasee tumefika hapa. But saa hizi, the more 2030 inakaribia, the more tunatoka kwa vitu zenye zinaongelelewa. When free primary education came, teenage pregnancies zilipungua kiasi. Juu kila mtu hadi machief walikuwa huko kazi yao ni kutafuta ni mtoto wa nani aende shule, aende shule. Ni mtoto wa nani sijua. Kama wewe ni mzazi na mtoto wako aende shule, anashikwa. But today, wazazi wanaambia watoto wao tukae tu hapa juu tutadu. Sina fee, niko na watoto 5 hapa. And when they talk to their women rep, one of the things that made Esther Passaris akemewe sana, ni solutions the government will offer. Moja ni hii, watu wa ghetto wacheni kuzaana sana, makosa ni nyinyi mlishazaana. And now here comes a mother akona watoto tayari 10 na walishawazaa, hata du na waizi rudi tumbo. Being born again si kurudi kwa tumbo. We already here. How do we deal with these problems? Kitu cha kwanza, we need a leader with goodwill. Ndo hata kama ni kuhaso basi, uache kuhaso peke yako kama scavenger. Tuhaso sisi wote. Wacha kuingia huko hiyo nchi nyingine unaenda tu kupiga deals zako wewe pekee. Na unasema in the name of Kenya. Unachukua mikopo in the name of Kenya. But hii mikopo ni ya kukulipa beshte yako.
Let me correct you on one thing that you have said, that right now Kenyans are not they're not having a right to education. If you go to most of these homes in Kenya right now, 90% of people have done up to Form 4. 90%.
Kama walifanya si juu ya tunaongelea 2022 kukuja.
No,
administration na vile administration imeharibu education.
No, the administration has not.
Pale ghetto wamama wenye hawajapata bursaries, one of the things zenye zilikuwa zinafanya sakaja asukumwe home ni juu ya bursaries. Na hizi bursaries hata zikikuwa, how many students get these bursaries?
If you go to
those
school,
who don't get will not go to school. Yet in the constitution it is a basic right to access basic education in this country. Toka hapo hivyo ingia new funding model. Hii funding model inaweka watoto in batches. Unapata hawa wawili ni mapacha na ni watoto wa maskini. Mmoja amewekwa band 1. Sijui anaweza imba vizuri. Wanasema kwao ni matajiri. Huyu mwingine na ni twin anawekwa band 5.
People for us we have a right to complain, right?
Yeah. Why are you complaining?
So at the end of the day, if people complain, they always summarizes into one, and they always get solutions. And at the end of the day, there are solutions for everything. I believe right now is that I know some might not get bursaries, and some might not get, some might not have money, financial power to educate their kids. But at the end of the day, the government has tried in out to make make sure that everybody, they have a right to education.
Hakuna trying.
The government has done each and because right now 90% of Kenyans have done up to Form 4.
Hapana, sio 90%.
We are talking about the complaints that are related to JSS because it is what we expect to be. Right now, most people have done Form 4 are the ones who went through the 844 system.
Nani hao wenye wanasema
We are talking about the now CBC, where there are a lot of complaints, and what is being done to address these challenges? That is our question this morning, on the JSS. That is what we are talking about. Is our future safe in the next 10 years? These are people we expect to be joining. They'll be in campus, ready for the job markets. But at the moment, they're having problems with the curriculum itself. So, is there goodwill in as far as education is concerned?
The fundamental of every new aspect in the market, it always possesses new challenges. And the new challenges is what makes something to grow hard and thick. So what I believe is that the government is trying each and every effort to make sure that all the complaints are being addressed through. That's what I believe in, because right now we have had so many things that are very new. The digital superhighway, and the digital superhighway does bring in TVET, that is one. Number two, it does bring in SHA and the Taifa Care and all those others, and also education. So when you go to each and every to each and every is it called aspect of the three the government has tried to brought into our country, they have had challenges, right? But at the end of the day, the challenges is what makes it to improve for efficiency.
Mm-hmm. All right, now there's a story. Is it just a minute? I think it's the Standard. That is on page 5. Shame on capital city without working surveillance cameras. The Standard is saying the killing of lawyer Mbobu has exposed the capital's collapse surveillance project and widening insecurity gaps. Costly cameras fail has forced police to depend on unreliable private footage and outdated investigative methods. This is in relation to what happened last week, and right now I believed that when you're someone who is always watching movies, you're always believing that that is something that can also apply in your country. Something happens in a random street and then CCTV footages are out and all that. But at the moment in our capital, this is according to Standard again. They're saying that surveillance cameras are not working. And they have given a record, I think it's from 2012 to 2015, where the new ones were integrated. I believe this is something that we should be having as a country. I just want to ask the question. I don't know where I'm getting flu and join Awaka. I just want to ask the question that Kibet as a person, away from abductions, away from, all those things, do you feel safe in the city?
I'm not safe in the city because what I believe is that the right for security is there as a person that I need to be protected by the government of Kenya, because life is very important. When you lose a life, it's like you are losing so many things in the country. So there are people who are bringing the presidency down by not maintaining or sustaining, because at first the CCTV surveillance camera in the city was a very noble project by the former regime to bring security at hand. Now the cartels and the cartels and everybody are trying in and out to make sure that the CCTV are not working, because they are doing things that are not unworthy to Kenyans, and things that are not of goodwill to Kenyans. So I believe that the other day I saw the MCS of Nairobi. they were telling Sakaja, no, you need to make sure the CCTV in Nairobi are working after, because in a span of 2 years we have lost so many great people, because the former MP Were, who lost his life, and now we have a city lawyer, a city tycoon. So it means that it can be me tomorrow. So what should be done in the security sector is that each and every places we need to have a proper, well-maintained security, so that people cannot lose their life. And if somebody lose their life, the people who have done those heinous act should be brought to book, and having CCTV will be easier for us to trace those people who are doing those kind of things in the city.
If you were to point fingers in this matter, who should we be pointing at?
First of all, the county government of Nairobi, because they are the one who collects taxes on behalf of the national government. So the county government of Nairobi and the security sector should come up with how to cope up with this mechanism of making sure that every CCTV in the city is working.
All right, now Juan, from where we sit, who should we blame?
We are blaming the head as we are coming down.
I saw that coming.
We starting from bottom up because it didn't work. Nairobi needs prayers, not from Christians, everyone. Mungu mwenye unaombaga hadi waras waungane. Because in less than 5 years, we've witnessed blood. Leo, you are talking about that you've not been around the world for very many years, so you have not seen so much. Hata sisi, vitu mingi sana tumeziona hii nchi, tumeziona in this period, 5 years hazijaisha. Everything, we have seen it there. We have seen a world where Nairobi, capital city, a place that is glorified by international nations. They call Nairobi, Kenya, the capital of Africa. People being shot, hapa kichwa hivi, papa. Things that we see kwa games za kuua zombie ama zombie hayo, hapo ndo unaona mtu ameuliwa hivyo. Because huyu usipomuua hivyo atakuuma. Now a man selling mask is being killed. Now we're supposed to take these people and bring them to book, right? The book iko na watu kaa kina DIG. So mahali unafaa upelekwe kwa books ni place ka Central Police, hapo ndani ndio we investigate, we take you to a court of law and the judge will say whether you are innocent or guilty. Unakufa usiku, inasemekana wewe juu ya shida za mental health zenye ziko na vijana wa Gen Z huku Kenya ulijigongesha kwa ukuta.
Okay.
Those are the books. Saa hizi lawyers kama huyu atauliwa na shida zenye hatutajua ni gani. Because jana nilikuwa naongelea hii kesi ya wakili Bobu, and it's one that is full of mysteries. Haijulikani kama ni political assassination because he was a former chair, political parties dispute. Haijulikani kama ni deals za kiwakili because he's a scholar and a lawyer, na inasemekana kuna place waliskim vitu. Haijulikani kama ni biashara kwa sababu wakili Bobu inasemekana alikuwa na madeni mengi. Haijulikani kama ni mistaken identity. Could be hata huyu jamaa alikuwa anaenda kumuua, hakuwa ametumwa huyu. Batasha apiga risasi ya kwanza, ya pili, ya tatu. Maybe alikuwa short sighted kama mimi ndio anaangalia vizuri na ule ni wakili. Na huyu wakili ataenda kunisema anaongezea zingine. They were 8 bullets. That is something serious yenye bila hizi CCTV zenye zinafaa kukua inakuwa iko at stake. Kuna watu wanaweka security yetu at stake. Na wanajua and they cannot do anything. And then they know they have higher power. Because kama tutablame Nairobi County Government vile Madoka amesema, Nairobi County Government kama inaongozwa na Sakaja, he knows I will call baba. Na MCA wataitwa State House, wengine waitwe kwa baba, na hii kesi yote itaisha. Yes.
Okay. Time is really not on our side. I would love for us to give a story of choice as you give your final remark.
Tunaanza hapa. mimi nataka kuongelea story ya kwa Binzaro
shortly, please.
Yeah, kwa Binzaro na vitu zenye zina happen. These people are seeking the face of God. Wamekosa peace na pia wako na umaskini. Jana on Art and Culture Monday we had someone from the Coast Blue Smile na alikuwa anatuelezea kuhusu hao watu ambao wanajipata katika hizi dini potovu. Watu wakuwe careful. Wewe kama uko na Biblia jisomee, kama uko na Quran jisomee. Are you seeking God? Anza na kwako hapo kwa nyumba before mtu aanze kukuambia hebu tukae njaa mpaka tukufe twende tukaone huyo Mungu.
Okay, thank you.
Before I give a story that I urge Kenyans of goodwill to support the Kenya Kwanza administration, because this is what they have done for Kenyans, and I'd tell people to register for SHA, because I know SHA is working, and SHA is the way. SHA is the way, and they say
the truth and life.
And the truth and life.
Manze kuna watu wanakufa
And
geto kusema hiyo.
and the reason why I'm saying this is that from NHIF to SHA, it has there are so many things that the government has done to bringing a digital superhighway in health, and I believe that for Kenyans to get for you to get health, for you to get to be, because it's a right for somebody to be treated in a public hospital fairly and squarely. And what I believe is that you should register for SHA, and the SHA will. I know people will say it's not working, but I believe it's working. Okay. And I'm going to give it a story by Winston Churchill. It's a quote by Winston Churchill where he says, "Success is not final, and failure is not fatal." The enthusiasm of you continuing to do is what makes you as a person.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for making time for us this morning. There is quite a lot of that can be talked about because the newspapers are huge and so many good stories. So if you want details of any of them, you can always get a copy of the same. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for making time for us. We have Ojwang Mariam, our very own, and Masden Kibet. I hope I got it right. Thank you so much for making time for us. From us, it's a wrap. See you next time.
Masden Kibet, Madoka. I thought Madoka was this.
Rumba imetamba, sauti soli na diaria.